This week I'm going to tell the Easter story, and I'm going to use what look like Easter eggs. But they're not your normal Easter eggs because what's inside makes them very different and tells our story. We begin with this blue egg, and inside is a donkey because remember, Jesus rode down the hill on Palm Sunday on a donkey. While everybody waved palm branches and everybody cried, Hosanna, which means save us now. Well, that was the best part of the week for Jesus because not too long after Palm Sunday, Jesus' friend Judas Iscariot sold him for 30 pieces of silver to his enemies who wanted to kill Jesus. Well, then we fast forward to Thursday night. And on Thursday night, Jesus got together with his disciples, all 12 of them, and they had the Last Supper together. And in that supper, Jesus broke the bread and said, every time you eat this, remember me. This is my body. And he took the cup and said, every time you drink this, remember me. This is my blood in the new covenant. After dinner, Jesus took his disciples out to the Garden of Gethsemane and they prayed. Well, they didn't pray. Jesus prayed and they slept. He even woke them up and they still went back to sleep. Jesus prayed 3 times, Father, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, thine be done. And when Jesus was done praying, then some Roman soldiers came up and arrested Jesus, and his friend Judas Iscariot kissed him and betrayed Jesus to all of the bad people. Well, they took Jesus and they talked to him all night, and they hit him and they spit on him. And his friend Peter denied Jesus not once, not twice, but 3 times, said, I don't know him. The next day they condemned Jesus to die, and so first they whipped him. 39 times Jesus was whipped. And then after they whipped Jesus, they put a crown of thorns on his head, and it poked into his head, and it hurt really bad, and they made fun of Jesus. The Roman soldiers bowed down and said, Hail, King of the Jews, but they didn't mean it. After they did that to Jesus, they made him carry his cross out to a hill called Golgotha. That means skull. And there they nailed him to a cross. And you know what Jesus said? Jesus said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. The soldiers at the foot of the cross played a game. They gambled for Jesus' clothes so that they wouldn't have to tear his seamless robe. And Jesus hung there on that cross for 1, 2, 3 hours. And then he said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. And he breathed his last, and he died. Now, some Roman soldiers came up and they poked Jesus in the side with a spear, but he was already dead. It didn't hurt, but blood and water poured out of Jesus' body. So they knew he was really dead. And then they took his body down off a cross, and some friends, Joseph and Nicodemus, they wrapped Jesus' body in white cloths with spices, and then they carried it to a tomb that was a rich man's tomb, a borrowed tomb, and they laid Jesus in the tomb, and they rolled a rock over the opening, and then they went away. And that was Friday, the first day. He was in the tomb Saturday, the second day. And early in the morning on the 3rd day, some women went to the tomb to see about things, and they found the stone was rolled away. And there was an angel who said, remember what Jesus said, what he told you? And when the women looked in the tomb, look what they found. Nothing. The tomb was empty, and that's what Easter really means. Easter means an empty tomb. Because Jesus isn't dead. Jesus died, and now Jesus is alive. God raised Jesus from the dead. And that's the best part of all of Easter.